found something extra special here at SEMA, and I'm probably going to end up in one of our SEMA shows, but I thought I'd do something as an individual thing, because I met Matt. How are you, Matt?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm really good, and I'm pretty excited about your little car, and to me it's a little car because we sort of do, street machines in Australia.
Sure.
And I just loved it straight up. The colour sort of got me in, but more so it looks like what we would build, but it's in a four-wheel drive.
Absolutely.
So first of all, do you want to give us a little bit of a rundown? How did that happen? How do you end up building these sort of vehicles?
So when I was a kid, I got my start in this because my mom used to build drag race cars, or used to drive drag race cars. Mom's actually been faster in a race car than I have. 942 at 145 and a quarter mile in a dragster.
That's in a dragster. That's
in
cool.
a dragster.
Yep.
And I always had lifted trucks when I started drag racing that I used as tow vehicles.
I think everyone in America's got a lifted truck, haven't they?
Probably.
They're amazing. Yep.
So the more money I put in my drag cars and my street cars, the less time I got to drive them, more expensive the fuel, and the more trouble I got in. My lifted trucks that I used as tow vehicles, the more money I put in those, the more I got to drive them and enjoy them.
Makes sense.
I kind of filtered away from the drag race aspect because I enjoyed more seat time in the vehicle and started doing trucks.
And how long ago was that?
A long time.
A long time. He's not going to give us a...
I've had my own four-wheel drive shop for 30 years.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And what you see behind us here is kind of, we wanted to step outside our comfort zone to celebrate 30 years in business and try something we hadn't done before.
And that is?
So, a military vehicle called a Jeep CJ2A. They were built, late 40s, 50s.
I was going to say, the World War II Jeep.
Yep, exactly. The little small military flat fender Jeeps. I own one, my son owns one. They're small, they're cool, we love them, but we don't fit in them real well.
Yep, I can understand
they're
that.
They're tiny. So what we did was, we upsized this vehicle by a little over 20%, and then we also added approximately 4 inches of width to the vehicle and made it into a modern Jeep-sized vehicle.
Cool.
This one happens to have 6.2 liter LS powered engine.
I might grab the camera.
Okay.
And I do that solely because I can get in close and look at whatever you're talking about. I'll make sure we
Absolutely.
get in the thing. So just tell me though, before we do that, so the chassis and the body, that's basically all your own design?
They are. So we built the body in-house. We have a very talented laser cutter press brake operator that's a very good friend of ours. It's all 1/8 inch aluminum. The chassis is a proprietary chassis that we designed and we had made reproduced to our specifications. So we can offer the chassis alone in a 2-door or 4-door version, or we complete a complete vehicle, which is what you see here.
So just explain to me a little bit then. So what was that, did you scan an original one and then upsize it, or did you basically do that
so
more old school?
We actually found online body blueprints for an early flat fender.
Well, how good was that?
Right? You can find anything online if you look hard enough.
That's true.
So we started with that as a basis and upsized it from there to make it more modern, more comfortable, longer, wider, more horsepower.
More cup holders.
More cup holders. Heat and lumbar in the seats, something they obviously never had. Push button audio. It has Curry Dana 60s front and rear, 1-ton equivalent axles, Fox coilover shocks, BDS suspension.
Okay, so if we slow down a little bit for me and probably for my followers, yours might understand some of that.
No worries.
So the front end in it, is that something that you guys design, or is it something that you buy in, or what's the go?
So the front and rear axle assemblies are replacement Jeep axles, heavy duty, from a company called Curry. They're 1-ton equivalent axles as opposed to a 1/2-ton, what would be in here stock.
And then obviously a decent sway bar.
Yep, nice big sway bars. Fox coilover shocks with reservoirs.
So what's the limiter to there? Is that?
So that's a nitrogen charged bump stop. When that hits that pad, we have that much more clearance it can go up. So this is going to bottom out before the shock will, so we won't damage the shock assembly.
Like it.
And that's threaded. We can adjust that and fine tune it up or down. 39-inch tall tires, which from the factory, I want to say I might be wrong, but they're about 28-inch tall.
Yep. Okay, so that's good. So on the rear, we'll stay with the suspension for a minute. So you can see another big shock there.
Yep, coilovers in the rear. We have what's referred to as 12-inch travel in the front and 14-inch travel in the rear. Another big sway bar. And as far as a Jeep suspension goes, this is what's considered a long arm suspension. The stock control arm points from the factory would be way back here. The longer these control arms are, the more articulation we have, the smoother the ride.
And you got some decent bash plates and all under it as well.
Yep, nice little skid plate. That transfer case is from a company called Advanced Adapters. Very, very bulletproof transfer case. We like them, we use them a lot. Everything we did on this vehicle, from the steering to the tires to everything, is the best of the quality that we can source, and it's what we use every day in our company, doing regular customer build vehicles.
So driving that is an LS.
6.2 liter LS, 550 horsepower. The vehicle is called a General. We will have options from 1-star to 5-star, which will be horsepower derivative. Plus, as we start getting up higher in horsepower, we're going to put even larger axles in it. We did hidden under the hood hinges as opposed to the big bulky ones that are on top of the vehicle with gas shocks, so the hood works nice and smooth.
So you was telling me earlier, so a limited run.
So in the state of Illinois, where we're from, we are going to be allowed to build 25 a year.
Oh, righto.
As what is considered a low volume production vehicle. Anything more than that, and we would have to start building a lot of them because we'd have to crash test them and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Which I know Australia, some of the
We're
companies,
really bad, yeah.
Well, it's good for us. I mean, I like the fact it's tested and we know it's going to work.
Yeah, true, but I mean, it's a bit hard if you've got to crash test one.
Absolutely. I don't have pockets that deep to build 3 or 4 of these just to wreck them.
So what's your limit then? So are you able to do 25? Is that you geared up for that, or are you looking more like a lower number?
So as it is right now, we're a small shop. We've been around for 30 years, but we only have 3 employees. My son runs the front of the shop, does sales, scheduling, all that kind of stuff, ordering. I kind of bounce back and forth, and we have another employee that works out in the shop named Jim, who does a lot of the day-to-day stuff and has done a lion's share of the day-to-day stuff for the last 9 months, so we could focus on building this.
Yep.
So with our current staff, we're not doing that many, but I have people lined up in place that I know are very high quality mechanics to help us push forward with this.
So if someone wants to order one, what sort of timeline are you looking at to be able to deliver?
So as of today, right now, we're probably about 6 months out. In the future, we plan on being able to put one of these out every 45 days.
Every 25 days?
45.
45.
Yep. Because we have
that's pretty good.
So we have another company that's going to be producing the bodies for us, because we're not a body shop. This is my first attempt at building a body.
Well, you've done well.
Thank you. We have another shop that has built the chassis to our specifications, and they're going to continue to do so for us. So everything we've done is with the goal of making it fully reproducible.
Beautiful. Mate, well, I think I like it.
Thank you.
It's way outside of what I would normally do, and when you go and check out what I've done in the past, it's nothing like this. I'm a show car-y sort of guy, but it grabs my eye, it looks like it'll work, and that's why I wanted to come and have a talk to you. So thanks for your time, and what we'll do is probably put this up on its own on the channel and see how it goes, but I like it.
I appreciate it greatly, sir. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Thank you.